But then I did not hear from her on Friday. That one day of silence was a huge test for me. It's not that the universe or God was testing him. He was basically allowing himself to persist through the 3D silence in trust without spiraling down and blaming and getting upset. Hey guys, welcome back to another video. In case you're new here, my name is Kim. This is Core Union, and today I wanted to read a manifestation success story from one of my loyal new subscribers. But I was crying last night when I read this email that my subscriber sent to me, and I know that it is going to encourage and inspire so many of you guys to continue to persist, regardless of what you are seeing, hearing, reading, whatever perceiving in your 3D reality. You have to remember that whatever you are experiencing in your 3D reality is a manifestation, it's a reflection of what either is or was a belief. And during the purge process, which is the middle, when everything is actually unfolding, you might still experience the things that you are afraid of because you probably gave it so much of your energy in the past because of perhaps in some cases when it comes to specific person, how much your person means to you. And because you love them so much, that makes you very fearful that somehow you can't be with them. So just like I have had many experiences with my person, Hannah, I can't escape the purge. When I went through the middle, when we weren't in contact at all, I also had to face it and I had to do exactly what I teach you guys to do. For some of you guys that actually weren't together with your person for the holidays, please remember that you can literally start right now living from the end of, and I know a lot of you guys do want a life together. And that is usually what I like to focus on, not just like light dating. I'm not saying that the process is easy. It's definitely challenging, but I do highly recommend that if you have manifested the person that you know, like deep down in your soul, you know that they're the one, just don't give up. Just continue to persist, do the inner work. But you do want to focus almost all of your energy on healing yourself, trusting in them, and that while you're healing, they're healing too, trusting that everything that you're feeling deeply, they're feeling too. And that's good or bad. They're literally feeling everything that you're feeling because, again, you guys are one. So everything is literally in the moment. It's not that it's, you're going to feel a certain way, whether it's good or bad, and then suddenly that's going to reach them over time. No, it's instant. It's as if you guys are plugged into each other because you are truly one. No one, you can't escape it. If there are things that are lingering within you that are your fears, your deepest, darkest fears, even if you have already seen that you persisted through and that you healed it and everything was good, if things show up again, you need to accept it and you need to go within and do the inner work. Okay. So anyway, and this is very symbolic for me because I remember when I was thinking about how much I want to spend, obviously every day of my life, waking up next to my person, Hannah, going to sleep and just enjoying every single holiday together. I remember that I just focused in on the life together, laughing together, hugging, kissing, just doing all the beautiful things that you do with the love of your life and having, an incredible bond where we just get each other and we heal and we support each other. We're best friends. We make an incredible team and that we trust each other. And trust is one of the biggest things. So anytime in my reality, if something was reflected that either I wasn't trusted or I wasn't able to trust, I knew that I had to go within and focus on trust and know that I needed to heal. Again, just go back and you just have to accept, okay, maybe I wasn't quite ready. I need to go within and heal these wounds again around trust. Symbolic for me, I wanted to wear this because this past Christmas, we really spoiled each other. I just want you guys to continue to focus in on having years and years of holidays ahead of you. So don't be so caught up. I didn't want to say this before Christmas because I didn't want to trigger some of you guys. But if you weren't with your person for Christmas, you will be. Just persist in it. And remember that you don't want to be persisting from trying to control the middle. Just go to the end and trust that everything is literally when you feel deeply in the end and you can immerse yourself in trusting. And when it feels good and you're just living your life and you're happy and you're detached from the fears, you're detached from the problems. You need to detach from all of that stuff. So that means that you're not constantly ruminating and reliving whatever words were said, if it was an argument or whatever, that you can't keep reliving that because that's toxic for you. You have to see past it and trust through this process. This is a game of trust, and it's a game of loving yourself, and it's a game of loving your person. So it's trust all the way around. So you trust yourself, you trust them, and you know that they trust you. Okay. So anyway, but we spoiled each other. Anyway, I'm wearing this shirt that he gave me. It says underneath, "We are one," and a little wishbone necklace. And he got me more things that maybe I'll be wearing over the next few videos. So I wanted to finally read this email that somebody sent to me. So before I do, please do like, comment, share, and subscribe to my channel. If you love my content and if you want help manifesting your specific person back, feel free to email me at kim@coreunion.com. Mind you, I have a lot of people emailing me, so just bear with me on how long it takes for me to get back to you. Sometimes I might respond right away. Sometimes there might be more time between. It just depends. I'm just one person. Then you can email after you've emailed me what's going on that you want my coaching for, then you can then you can go to my website, coreunion.com, and book either your 30-minute session, a 60-minute session, or a package, which is what most people prefer because it does make coaching very affordable. Then I will reply back with my next available. But again, bear with me with getting back to you. So I just wanted to read this. So he basically wrote, "My story is, I've been into Neville Goddard and the law of assumption since 2019 and feel like I manifested a woman in my life in early 2020. I didn't know her before that, but I had been affirming a loving relationship. So there was no real resistance, and this relationship arrived just in time for COVID. We really hit it off and had some truly great times while in lockdown. Unfortunately, at some point early within this relationship, I lost sight of my young developing practice of consciously manifesting Neville's books, and I went into my limiting beliefs. So in other words, he got sucked into the 3D, and that does happen it's normal for it to happen. You just have to remember to pull yourself out. And by the way, this is going to be a long video because it's a lengthy email, but I want to just read everything. So if eventually you can skip through when you find your favorite parts. On October 25th, 2023, I was dumped. My SP stated she would never have a romantic relationship with me and to not contact her ever again. We can all thank my poor inner conversation for that. My negativity was rooted in my avoidant attachment style. That was a self-concept with limiting beliefs related to intimacy, which really comes down to self-worth. I have had a wall built around my whole life, which resulted in one failed long-term relationship after another. And once again, I had manifested a partner right out of my life. For a frame of reference, I'm 53 years old. So the relationship ended like a big slap in the awareness face. I knew enough to get right back into cleaning up my inner conversation and starting affirming with I am statements. I set the full intention that I am in a loving romantic partnership with my SP and became fully invested in my inner work. During the early work, I came to the understanding and true belief that I really love this woman and we should be together. As you would say, I believe in my heart of hearts, we are indeed a deep soul connection, two peas in a pod. And I'm going to do my best not to get emotional with this. I persisted morning, noon, and night, lots of tears of sadness and also tears of gratitude and joy. As I became more aware of my limiting beliefs and core self-concepts had always been blocking me, thoughts started coming up and I was able to really release a lot of it. The whole premise of self-concept and limiting beliefs was new to me, but I started understanding that a person should really clean themselves up first and foremost. It also became apparent that by practicing law of assumption, this inner work to an extent naturally takes place. If you are true to it, as you inevitably become the person that you want to be, I embraced it for sure, but yeah, I felt alone and I had no idea what my SP was doing. and was affected by my 3D. Visiting Facebook and Instagram felt like laying down on a bed of hot coals. This is why we always say, and I'm a true believer, that you do not, when it comes to social media or anything trying to seek evidence in the 3D, you should really stop yourself. I don't care if you've heard that it's okay, and I don't care if you think that you're strong enough. It's just best not to trigger yourself, because coming out of a spiral can really be very painful. You will manifest regardless if you stay persisting and you trust in your end. But why put yourself through the torture of that? That was just my 2 cents. So during my process, I was definitely reading Neville Goddard's books directly. Anyone trying to use the law should read his works over and over, in my opinion. I was also searching the internet for solutions and help. I did all of the Neville Reddit subs, which are a blessing and a curse, but the success stories and some of the more prominent users on the subs were indeed helpful. I will add to that. I also think that in a lot of cases, you can end up triggered by doing that. But if it's helping you, go ahead and do it. But remember, there are a lot of people under the Reddit boards that really don't know what they're talking about. And you could end up basically kind of in a misery loves company kind of thing. Okay. So anyway, and of course, I found the troves of YouTube coaches and manifesting videos. Thankfully, I was quickly turned off by all of the quote unquote manifest your ex back in 24 hours. They're used car salespeople. Yikes. And that's how I feel about them too. It kind of makes me cringe. So I am with you guys on that. At about 1 month into my manifesting my SP journey, I found your Core Union YouTube channel. I can't even really describe how much I felt in line with what you were saying. The deep soul connection, the get back into trust, and all of your amazing reminders resonated with me perfectly. I was brought to tears so many times hearing your words. For one, what you say is in perfect alignment with my intentions. And another reason being the timing was so incredible. You would say the exact things that would allow me to progress forward in any given moment. It was like you were handing me the baton in a relay race. I would grab the perfect goodness and take off with it. I went back and watched pretty much all of your videos and was always looking for your newest. All of it has been so incredibly inspiring, uplifting, and truly provides an opportunity to learn. Your constant reminders to shut down the 3D. There is movement, and your SP is feeling it too. Kept my confidence level up and inspired me to persist. After over 9 weeks of no contact, I got a text from my person on New Year's Eve. When I heard her personalized text ringtone being on my phone, I about soiled myself. I didn't even look at the text. I first went back into my trusting and secure inner place for a while and just sat with it, which allowed me to really feel into the place of true knowing. And then I read the quote unquote Happy New Year's text and let out a huge sigh of relief. Oh, and I know that huge sigh of relief. Side note, as you know, feeling is the secret, and getting to the place of truly believing in yourself and truly growing the faith that quote unquote, it is done, is an actual process that I had never been through before. And by achieving this and gaining the understanding, gaining the faith, I will forever be changed. I'm so grateful for this knowledge. That text was 1 week ago today on New Year's Eve. We had some funny texts back and forth, which felt good to me. We then talked on the phone the next day, Monday, January 1st. During this 1 hour phone call, there were tears from both of us, and it was nice enough, but ended with her saying, quote unquote, I don't really want to continue this discussion anymore. Now, before I go on with his email, this is exactly where you guys freak out and fold and give up, okay? Because that was just his fear coming up. That was his opportunity to allow it to go away. Thankfully, I did the right thing and flat out ignored my 3D. I got back into affirming and persisted in the feeling of knowing it was done. And that precisely is exactly what we always talk about when we say your 3D circumstances and what's being said doesn't matter, that you go into your trust. It is that moment where I want you guys to be honest with yourself, that when you're seeing the opposite, you are not doing exactly the inner work, which we're talking about right then and there. Okay. So there was no communication for a full day, but then I heard back from her on Wednesday, which led to a few more texting sessions between us for a few days that were lighthearted and fun. But then I did not hear from her on Friday. That one day of silence was a huge test for me. It's not that the universe or God was testing him. He was basically allowing himself to persist through the 3D silence in trust without spiraling down and blaming and getting upset. Worry and doubt were looming and trying to creep into my thoughts and feelings. I fell into comments and on a Reddit thread where someone was claiming manifesting an SP 99% is impossible and that it was a farce and shouldn't be done. You see how he went into doubt. So then he was starting to basically see things in his 3D reality, reflect that back through the Reddit thing. So he was now getting the reflections of his deep fears inside. But I had your words baked into my head. I then watched your recent quote unquote, the purge video where you talk about the flowers being cut, thus being dead and withering away in the vase. While watching this video at my dining room table on my laptop, I was also seeing the now withering flower bouquet from Christmas in a vase on my dining room table with leaves dropping off onto the table. And wow, I persisted, remained in trust and secureness, ignored my 3D, and kept on affirming and believing in myself, my person, and my higher self. Yesterday morning, Saturday, January 6th, I woke up to a text from my SP. It said, quote unquote, I'd like to talk today if you're free. I gave her a call and she said, unexpectedly, I have not been able to get you off of my mind. And I'm at the point where I really want to discuss this with you. She then asked me what my intentions were. I told her, quote unquote, to be in a loving, healthy, romantic partnership with you. She then asked, quote unquote, what would that look like to you? I asked, what would a partnership look like to me? Obviously, I knew what it would look like as I had the time of inner work and affirmations pertaining to this very thing already in my own wonderful human imagination. Interestingly enough, we started to have a weird cell phone reception thing where we suddenly couldn't hear each other. So she invited me over to her house to continue the discussion. So I'm going to now be very strong, guys, not to get teary with this because I really love this so much. I went over to her place and had some light, small talk and then resumed the what would a partnership look like to me topic. I told her all my thoughts and intentions. Not surprising, it was exactly in alignment with what she wanted to hear. We talked for hours, agreed that we would join in partnership, take it slow, and consciously reattach in a very healthy way. I will never forget the feeling I had as we embraced in a hug and a little smooch. I had almost achieved that feeling in my imagination weeks early. It was close, but admittedly not quite as good as the 3D hug yesterday. Now, I just want to add on to this. You see how she didn't dive right into marriage? It wasn't like, in the 3D, it is very normal and natural, and that she wants to take it slow and do everything in a healthy way. And that's exactly how it unfolded with me and Hannah too. It's not that, we decided that we're in this together for the long haul. So we wanted to build a healthy, solid relationship in the 3D. Okay. So we went out on our first date last night. I then went back to her place where we talked some more, decided that we would wait a bit longer before having sex, but cuddled on the couch for a few hours. And then, like the gentleman that I am, went home with a spring in my step, but also affirming in my head too, there's no way I'm going to slip back into an old story. I even did Sats, my main imaginary visual scene I've used the whole time before falling to sleep. See how he didn't stop doing the inner work? This is key. I am 100% confident that I will experience that exact scene in my near future. I know this email is quite long and that you are a busy person with plenty on your plate, but I really just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for all your inspiration and knowledgeable perspective and thought you might like to read a manifestation success story that you were a part of, whether you knew it or not. Well, it's interesting because I actually do know this because every day I affirm that people are actually getting back in union with their person just by watching my videos. So thank you for proving this to me. And thank you for also being that perfect reflection of one of my most important manifestations to me too. It's very purposeful to me. If you'd like to read this story during one of your videos, please feel free to, as I'm sure someone out there in the world will find it inspirational and encourage someone to persist. It should also fortify that you know what you're talking about. You know exactly what you're talking about. I am a believer. Again, I am so very grateful for your time, energy, and love. Peace to you and yours. So I hope that this video helped many of you guys. I want you to really take this as such an amazing case study that he did not give in or fold or crack when at first the text was just kind of a very general text. When his person went quiet again, he again continued to persist in the end. When they started to talk and then she said she wanted to stop that discussion around a relationship, he continued to persist. And then when they did actually see each other and decided to take it slow, he continued to persist. He did everything that you're supposed to do. And on top of it, one of the most important keys that he did was that he was happy for what he did experience. He continued to stay in trust and he continued to go back into his imagination, even like he didn't stop and say, well, I manifested everything so I can stop my inner work. He continued to go into SATS, state akin to sleep if you're new, into his imaginary scene of the end. I know a lot of you guys are very tempted when your person comes back in the 3D to stop doing the inner work because, you're like, well, I manifested it. You continue to persist until you're actually experiencing your full manifestation. So, for example, my full manifestation with me and my person, Hannah, is us in our dream home together and whatever else we decide we want to experience in our life. And all limits are off. That we are literally such a power couple that we can have anything that either of us and both of us want and desire. I don't stop persisting. My persisting and my affirmations will continue to evolve as we evolve, but I don't stop. I never stop. I don't stop persisting for anything that I want. Okay, so I believe in doing the inner work. I believe in getting ahead of things. I know that I can manifest literally anything that I want because I trust that manifestation is just a reflection, a three-dimensional experience that is of solidified matter in my reality, reflecting what's deep down in my soul or what's deep in my fear, in my ego. If it's in my soul, it's of God. If it's in fear, it's of ego. So I trust in this process. So I continue to obviously live and breathe it. Okay. It has never failed me. It doesn't mean that I haven't experienced the things I don't want in my reality. But when I do, I know, okay, I have some more healing to do and it's okay. And I don't resist it. I accept it. I love myself through it. I persist through the pain. I never blame the people in my reality. In the 3D, maybe at first I might, but then I remember to go back within and to go back into exactly what is deep down in my soul, because I know what's deep down in my soul is God communicating to me. And I trust in that. And I know that if I'm feeling it deep down in my soul, then that end exists. And it's as simple as that, or I just wouldn't feel it. Okay, so please do comment down below that you know that it is done, no matter what it is that you're wanting to manifest, no matter what is deep down in your soul, in your heart of hearts, whether it's related to your specific person, through any family member, through any kind of relationship, through any dollar amount, anything that you want to do for a career, any way that you know that you deserve to be treated by anyone in your reality. I want you to go in your end of whatever that is and trust and know that it's done and affirm it down below, and do not give in or give up based off of whatever's coming up in the 3D. If it is not in the end, then it's not in love, it's not in trust, it's not God. So it doesn't matter, but do see it and see what it's telling you, remembering that it is the cut flowers. And if it's in bloom, it doesn't mean that it's going to stay that way. It means that you want to see it and know, okay, this is my test. It's not anything outside of me testing me. This is just my experiencing testing to see, have I evolved? Have I shifted? And if not, then shift. And if you have, then don't worry about it. Okay. So anyway, reach out to me if you need me. I love you so much. I hope that this video helps. I know that it's a long one, but I know that it's going to help many of you guys shift you into the trust. And that's really all you need to do. If you need me, just let me know. Bye.
Nothing can come, nothing can come, nothing can come between us.